Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into some really timeless wisdom from Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya's classic Safal Jeevan ki Disha Dhara. It basically means the direction and flow of a successful life. We're going to unpack its core ideas for building a life that's full of purpose and, real character.
So the book kicks off with this really powerful idea. It looks at youth not just as an age, but as the springtime of life, a time that's just overflowing with energy and passion. It's the single most critical time, really the foundation for your entire future.
All right, so think of it this way. Life is a journey, right? It's a path we all have to walk. And this book, it's basically our guide, our map, especially when we're young. It's all about helping us choose the right direction from the very start. So, let's start walking that path.
So our first stop is this very idea, the direction of life, and the incredible, unique power that you have in your youth. You see, the choices you make early on, they don't just shape your today. They are literally the building blocks for everything that's coming next.
And here's why this is so important, why there's a real sense of urgency here. The book is pretty clear. Without the right guidance, it's way too easy to get off track. And those bad habits you might pick up when you're young, they get rooted so deep that it becomes incredibly difficult to change course later. It's almost like a train that's already left the station on the wrong track.
Okay, so if life is this big journey, what do you need to pack? What's your gear? Well, the book has an answer for that by looking at the essential kit for anyone who wants to learn, all wrapped up in 5 ancient traits. It all comes from this Sanskrit verse that describes the 5 must-have qualities of an ideal student. It talks about having the relentless effort of a crow, the laser-sharp focus of a heron, sleeping lightly and alertly like a dog, eating just what you need, and being ready to step away from your comfort zone to really pursue knowledge. And you've got to love these analogies, right? Just picture it. A crow will stop at nothing to get what it's after. A heron will stand perfectly still with this incredible, unwavering focus, just waiting for that one right moment. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're powerful images that show us exactly how we should be chasing our own goals. It's just a brilliant example of ancient wisdom using nature to teach us something profound.
All right, so we've got the gear for our actions in the outside world, but what about our inner world? That's where we're headed next. The book says the next crucial step is mastering your own mind, the world of your thoughts.
A huge concept here is something called sankalpa. Now get this, it's not just a wish or a vague dream. It's a powerful, rock-solid resolution. It means you first have to decide, with total clarity, what you want, and then you commit to it with everything you've got. That sankalpa, well, that becomes the engine driving you forward. And this is where it gets really powerful. The idea is that our thoughts aren't just floating around doing nothing. They literally build our reality. Constructive, positive thoughts, they create a world of clarity, purpose, and growth. But destructive, negative thoughts, they just lead to confusion, anxiety, and feeling stuck. Your inner world absolutely dictates your outer world.
Okay, so once we start getting our inner world in order, the next question is obvious, right? How should we act in the outer world? This brings us to 2 huge principles: simple living and, maybe most importantly, noble conduct. And the book makes us pause and ask ourselves a really simple but deep question. In a world that's always telling us we need more, it forces us to stop and think, how much do we actually need to be happy? To really bring this home, there's this incredible story about Mahatma Gandhi. He was on a train journey and he saw the deep poverty of his people. And from that day on, he made a decision to wear only a simple cloth, just like the poorest people he saw. You see, for him, simplicity wasn't about giving things up. It was a deep act of empathy, of connection. It was about freeing himself from materialism. And that perfectly sets up the next crucial point. Your character is your true wealth. The book shares this amazing story about 2 friends, one rich and one poor. When the wealthy friend lost everything, his poor friend, who had become a school principal through pure hard work and integrity, supported him without a moment's hesitation. It's just a powerful reminder that our character, our integrity, those are the things that are truly valuable. So all this talk about helping others, it brings up a really fundamental question. Why is this outward focus so important? Why should we live for others? What's the real point of service? And the answer the book gives is just beautiful. It tells us to look at nature. Rivers don't drink their own water. They give it to everyone else. Trees don't eat their own fruit. They offer it freely. The lesson is that the highest purpose, the law of nature itself, is to live for the benefit of others.
And all of this, choosing our path, mastering our minds, acting with integrity, it all leads us to our final destination, figuring out what success really means. And spoiler alert, it might not be what you think.
Because let's be honest, the way society often defines success, it's all about wealth, fame, power. But this book just flips that on its head. It argues that real success has nothing to do with those external things because they come and go. True success is an internal achievement. It's a state of being you build inside yourself. So, if it's not about money or fame, what does this truly successful life look like? Well, it's marked by a sense of inner peace and contentment. It's defined by a strong, solid character and real integrity. It finds its best expression in serving the greater good. And ultimately, it's about living a life that is absolutely filled with purpose.
So here we are, right back where we started. The path of your life is stretching out in front of you. And with all this wisdom in your back pocket, the only real question left is the one you have to answer for yourself. How will you decide the direction of your life?